Hello, this is Stacy Van Landingham of Bean and Noodle, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I use Pinterest to drive traffic to my website and blog. So, about a year or so ago, I was curious about where traffic was coming from on my website, and you should always be looking at your stats to find out where this is coming from. So, I went to my stats on my website, my WordPress site, and I clicked on refers, and I'm going to click on a year here so you can see. Now, I was surprised by this information. As you can see, that most of the traffic on my website, most of the views have all come from Pinterest, which is this is almost 4 times as much as my Facebook and way more than my Instagram. I was pretty shocked by this information. So I started thinking about it. What are they looking at that is bringing them to my website? Because I wasn't using it as a tool. I was using it like we all use Pinterest as a planner, looking for recipes, looking for cool stuff to make, looking for stuff that I might want to buy, looking for gifts for people. This is what I was using it for. So that's what everybody's using it for, right? But I knew there was a way to align this with my interests and create boards that would drive more traffic to my website. It just made sense, right? So I'm going to go to Pinterest right now. And what I decided, I looked at those analytics on my website, so I decided to look at the analytics on Pinterest and audience insights. So I found out where my traffic was coming from the most, and now I want to know what that audience is actually interested in so I can provide that information or also align with that so that traffic will come to beanandnoodle.com. So categories and interests, they're food and drinks, event planning, entertainment, home decor, and DIY are the ones that have the most interest. Now, this is pre-holiday time right now. Of course, Thanksgiving's next week and Christmas is coming, so it's, no surprise that a lot of the audience right now is looking at these things. But I can tell you that if I were to look at my analytics during the year at any time, these are pretty much the topics that pop up. Gardening a little bit more so in the spring and summertime. So I know this about my audience, that this is what they like. I know their age. If you scroll down, the distribution of my audience is much more even than I thought it would be. I thought they'd all be, in my age bracket, which is around here. So female, not a surprise there. I'm not surprised at all that the gender distribution in my audience is very female. So this tells me so much. It tells me so much. It tells me that I have a lot of women of all ages, and they're looking for information and cool stuff to pin about gardening, entertaining, home decor, and food and drinks. So let's go to my home feed here. And so I decided that I needed to create some boards possibly that aligned with my website and what Bean and Noodle is all about, aligning with my brand. So I'm going to actually skip back here. Let's go to beanandnoodle.com first. So if you went to my website, the first thing you would see is me talking about what Bean and Noodle is all about and pretty much what I'm all about. Homebody. I love British television, knitting, and pie, dogs, and I'm a printer. So this tells you a lot about me and Bean and Noodle. So these are the things that I needed to create boards about on my Pinterest page to drive traffic to my website. Just completely align it. So let's go back to where I was on that Pinterest page and let us, give me a second here. All right, so let's go to my boards. So on my boards, you will see that I created boards that are in direct alignment with my brand. Homebody, these are pins that are real cozy that I love, or ideas for decorating the home. As you can see, at the time when I was pinning all of these, I was obviously hanging a lot of stuff in my house and was curious about how I might do that. So Homebody is one of my boards, and also handmade, vintage kitchenware and retro kitchens, vintage tablecloths, and also, cake or pie. So, and British TV. So you can see that I definitely created boards that align with beanandnoodle.com. So in addition to that, I noticed that people were creating pins. I heard a lot about this and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. So, and a real way to drive more traffic. So created. Now these are pins that I've created, and some are just really real, just an image and possibly a link to my website. Also, whenever I do a blog post, if it's something like this that I want somebody to look at, I will click on my website where on the blog post where it says save to Pinterest. And so a lot of these are just saved to Pinterest just directly from my blog posts. And some of them are me doing it, and I'm assuming that some are other people doing it, like where you have the little thumbtack there. That's somebody else saving that. So that is, and also it's no surprise because that easiest pie crust ever is like really one of the posts that drives so much traffic to my website. I created that post. You can see looks a little different then, and then I did a little video one later, and it just got a lot of views and a lot of pins and a lot of traffic driven to my website. And I just create these pins. I can just create an Instagram post and then kind of recreate it and reformat it for Pinterest when I create the post. Or I just simply create it in Canva. And I created this one in Canva because I wanted a little video. As you can see, the 6 British TV series, that one is actually running as I'm here. So I'm going to click on this for a second so you can see. Really, it's just, if we click on edit, you can see how I did it. Really, it's like I decided to save it to a board. I gave it a title. I had a little call to action there, and of course a direct link to where to find it on my website. And then I saved it. It's pretty simple. It's really just like creating a post for like you would create a post for anything else. So I was doing a little bit of research, or just a little example of it, where last week I created this one, the cornbread apple dressing with sausage and pecans. And you can see I've had a few pins and I've had a few saves, and I've also had quite a few viewers on it. And I'm assuming that some of those refers to my website have all come from this also. So it's a little late in the game, though. I will tell you that I think the rule of thumb is that people are looking about 2 months out for like an event that's coming up, like a holiday. So I really if I really wanted to create a lot of traffic and for this to be incredibly useful, I should have done it about a month ago, but I just kind of thought of it last week when we were talking about this video. So I just wanted to show you an example. So really, there are a couple other things that I want to talk to you about in using Pinterest to drive traffic, but we'll save those for later. Hopefully some of this made sense to you, and I just think that Pinterest is such a great tool, and just don't forget about it. It's a very powerful search engine, and you will find an audience with the same tastes that will align with your brand. If you either just look into the analytics, and then if you want, you can create some boards that will kind of create an even more impactful audience for you, or you can create pins that will directly drive traffic. So if you have any questions, just pop me an email, beanandnoodle@gmail.com. I'm happy to talk to you about any of this. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time, and happy Thanksgiving.